in the team, and bronze medal on beam with Georgina Hockenhull.
Well, the home nations have got off to a great start on floor, with Dan taking that bronze medal. And there's the start list for the final. Up first for Scotland, Shannon Archer. Then the two Canadians, Olsen and Black. Scotland's Cara Kennedy. Nice to India represented, Nayak from India. Two Australians, Godwin and Whitehead. And then representing Wales, Holly Jones.
Absolutely, the two Canadian gymnasts, Shannon Olsen and Ellie Black, were first and second in qualification. Shannon Olsen being the top scorer. So you can see a little bit of activity over by the vault. Coach is getting it ready. But the other apparatus at the same time in the arena will be men's pommel horse. And lots of home nation interest on that occasion. Here's our start list for pommel horse. Michael Tone, Australia, so home interest, and Christopher Remkes, both on the pommel horse. Zachary Clay of Canada, Reese McLennan, who actually qualified second and yesterday posted a very big score on pommel in qualification in the individual all around. Two English gymnasts, James Hall and Max Whitlock. And Max, of course, Olympic champion on the pommel horse.
Yes,
First gymnast for Scotland to the vault, Shannon Archer. Highest qualifier, representing Canada, Shannon Olsen. A Commonwealth all-around champion, Ellie Black. Second gymnast from Scotland, Cara Kennedy. From India, Pranati Nayak. Silver medalist in the women's all-around last night, Georgia Godwin from Australia. Also from Australia, Emily Whitehead. And the final gymnast from Wales, Holly Jones.
And introducing the finalists for the men's pommel horse for Australia. First through the door is Michael Tone. Representing Canada, Zachary Clay. Representing Australia, local lad, Christopher Remkes. Representing Northern Ireland, Reese McLennan. Representing England is James Hall. Representing England, it's Max Whitlock. Representing Wales, Jack Davies. And finally, representing Malaysia, Fei Lu.
So the gymnasts have already warmed up in the arena. They don't get another warm-up, they have to come straight in and perform.
So the women get us underway on the vault.
And first gymnast to the pommel horse for Australia, Michael Tone.
Starts well in the single leg work around the horse and builds up into the double leg circle. Skills on the one handle, that builds the difficulty. It's got good execution within the legs, nice and straight. On the one handle, and he just lost his momentum. He spoke too soon. Gymnasts come into contact with the horse and you lose your balance. There you can see, just kills the swing and off. 30 seconds to mount the apparatus. Picks up strong. The forward travel, known as the Magyar, immediately travelling backwards. That's a nice travel, the woo with a turn. Travels back down the horse. It's very original, this routine. Needs a good dismount, no hesitation on the pirouette, but that fall will certainly be costly.
Yes, disappointing opening to the pommel horse final. He was swinging so well, and the finish, he finished so well. It's a bit of a shame in the middle.
Over to the vault for the ladies. First gymnast up, representing Scotland, Shannon Archer.
So Shannon qualified fourth. Powerful run, makes the round off in front of the, platform, flips on, and that was a beautiful 1.5 twist off. There's several gymnasts who've got similar difficulty level, so it's the execution that's going to choose who's the winner, and that was a well executed vault. Legs are nice and straightened together. She kept her foot just inside that line.
Opts for the Yurchenko, So we're going to try and give you a bit of gymnastic coaching at the same time. That's a round-off backflip onto the vault block and then wraps in multiple twists, and that was the 1.5. The tariff is 5, so the most she could score if it was perfect would be 15.
Now she has to do a second vault, and the vault has to be different on and different off. So she can't use 1.5 twists off.
Score comes in, the first vault, 13.8 for Shannon Archer. Second vault.
So this, her less favourite vault. Has to really make sure she focuses hard. Half on, full twist in the straight position off. That was 2 good vaults. I think that's a strong bid for a medal from Shannon.
Well, she qualified in 5th position, but 2 cracking vaults there, Christine. You can see different entry, different exit, so she's already performed a 1.5. She has to do something different on the way on, so she does a half on and a full twist in the straight position on the way off. Good challenge.
It is indeed. Waiting for the score for Michael Tone, and it's 12.433. Lost a mark, of course, for the fall. Next to the pommel horse for Canada, Zachary Clay.
Physique built for this piece of apparatus. Straight into the handstand, no hesitation. Now picks up the double leg circles, plenty of momentum. That's good work on the one pommel handle, that builds the difficulty. And again, notice the feet locked together. Full spindle on the end of the leather, travelling down. Excellent extension, and again, full of originality. The forward travel. He's keeping the momentum. Needs a good dismount, no hesitation, full pirouette. Well, Zachary Clay has laid down a challenge on the pommel horse.
Well, Canada enjoyed a medal on the floor exercise, and they look like they're coming good in these finals. That was a very good pommel routine. Very good swing from the shoulders, you can see. Holds the body straight, fixes the shoulders, swings around. Takes such strength, and of course if you've got a light body frame, it's much easier. Delight.
Just waiting for the score for Shannon Archer. 13.566 for the second vault, gives her an average of 13.683. That's up on qualification. Great start. Next up for Canada on vault, Shalon Olsen.
And this gymnast was the top qualifier. Going to attempt a difficult vault to start. Round off in front, half turn on, straight body with 1.5 twist off. Very difficult vault indeed. Tariff of 6.
Coach there, Dave Kikuchi, part of the men's team many years ago. Just look at this, the round off half turn, feet locked together, the handspring into the straight front with a 1.5 twist. You often see sometimes gymnasts turn a little bit early onto the vault and it pulls them to one side, but Christine, technically that was just fantastic.
Yeah, she's a little bit loose in the legs sometimes, which detracts from the perfect 10. You know, you get an execution score of 10. Canadian gymnasts supporting each other. So yes, so the difficulty is 6. The execution potentially is 10. And the judges take marks off for it. So she hasn't quite got into the 9, 8.8, but it's a very good score, 14.8 for her first vault.
Second vault, so it'll have to be different, not just as difficult.
Let's go.
Shalon Olsen.
Important focus, you can see in her face. Good round off, flip on now, lovely double twist off. Very good vaulting indeed. Really world class final that.
Well, I think that'll take some beating, Christine.
It certainly will. Lovely and upright at the end of that double twist.
It definitely popped off the top, a lot better than the first one actually. You could see she blocked in there, got her shoulders into the vault, used that block and extension, plenty of height and flight on the double twist.
So pause here, Zachary Clay, 14.3. Now that 8.5 is a very good execution score. That's a big score. Christopher Remkes from Australia. He wowed us on the floor even though he didn't make the final. Here he is on the pommel horse.
Such a small but very powerful gymnast. To harness the power on the pommel horse. So explosive there, straight into the handstand. Got a good pace on the double leg circle up into handstand. That's nice work, controlled, it keeps the rhythm going. Great extension over the horse. Keep driving the heels, that adds the difficulty. Working the one pommel handle. That's the Russian Wendy swing on the end of the horse. Travelling forwards, that's the Magyar. The crowd are cheering him on, he's starting to tire. Come on, Chris. The backward travel, needs to get up into the handstand, no hesitation. Pirouette. Well, he fought well for that routine.
Hey, I was impressed with that. I was impressed with the style and the determination. Little bit of a bent elbow up there, but very nice work in that pirouetting phase. Very small gymnast, very zippy. Had to really push his shoulders forward there to get up into the handstand. Finished it off to the delight of the whole crowd.
And the second vault score comes in at 14.333, gives in a 14.566 average. That will take some beating, Christine.
It will, and if there's one person who can beat it, it's the next gymnast, Ellie Black, the Commonwealth overall champion.
Next up, onto the vault for Canada, Ellie Black.
Looks so secure on the vault. Oh, and that is secure, isn't it? Lovely handspring, straight front somersault with full twist. Technically, really good, very efficient.
Actually, I think the best vault she's done in the competition. Goes forward with the handspring, blocks in, straight front with the full turn, straight down the middle. Such a very powerful gymnast. We've seen her finish a competition on the floor exercise and just transfers the power from the floor to the vault. And everything else she does, of course.
Yeah, she's really strong, really confident in her work.
The only problem for people watching at home is this is a 5.4 and Olsen did a 6. So there's 6/10 difference already.
Yeah, so it has to be executed that much better. It was executed very well.
Score comes in 14.4. You're right, Christine, just 9 on execution.
All important second vault. As we've said, it has to be different. She turns on, she makes 1.5 twist off. Another very good vault, just a little pace backwards.
Well, 5.2 the difficulty on that vault. So it's a bit of an uphill battle. There you go, the half on. Wraps in the straight somersault with the 1.5 turn, and you can see the alignment on both vaults straight down the middle.
Very good. Christopher Remkes waiting patiently. It was a great routine. Was it good enough to challenge? 13.733, second at the moment. So Reese McLennan from Northern Ireland, very young gymnast.
Big opportunity. Straight into the handstand, and now picks up into the double leg circle work on one handle. That's the Wendy swing. That is very difficult. Back onto the one handle, building even more difficulty. They're known as the Stockleys. Into the middle, again the Russian Wendy circle. This is looking good. Travels forward in the Magyar and the Shavado. Travel with turn, the Wu. Connects into the Russian Wendy. This is big difficulty, needs a good dismount. No hesitation, double pirouette. Reese McLennan from Northern Ireland. Well done, son.
Absolutely fantastic routine. Third day of competition for him. But fabulous technique. Fabulous work. Such lovely style, and really you didn't feel you had to hold your breath at all. You felt he was totally confident.
Well, you can just see how much it meant to him, that performance. He did score 15.05 in the all-around competition. If anybody can challenge Max Whitlock, he can. We're just waiting for the vault. Score comes in 14.066, second vault 14.233 for Ellie Black. Puts it into second spot.
So at the moment, Canada first and second, Scotland third.
Next up for Scotland is Cara Kennedy.
Another gymnast we've seen performing very, very well indeed for her team and in the individual final. She's got one more good vault in her. 1.5 twist she has, just a little hop to the side. But that was efficient, good, controlled vaulting from Cara Kennedy.
Yes, powerful vaulting. Another Yuchenko. Good in the air. 1.5 twist. So, quite a difficult vault, but technically as well. Be difficult for the judges to take a lot off. A little hop on the dismount on the landing, but she stayed well within that zone.
Just a little bit bent elbows on the top. We can't see properly from here, but I think it probably wasn't the longest vault. And the judges do deduct for lack of height, lack of length.
Lack of block, yeah, the way on. They'll take it off for anything, won't they, Christine?
They will indeed. But it was a very clean vault. Cara would hope to be near the 9s. Yes, 8.833, 13.833 for the vault.
Second vault for Cara Kennedy of Scotland.
And it's the second vault that often makes the difference. .6, just the tariff. Oh, that was a good one. Half turn on with the full twist, a better tariff this time round. Sorry, it's a 4.8, and that was what she competed in qualification. A little bit of a jolt on landing. A good control. Here it comes, 15.1 for Reese McLennan. That is a massive score, a 6.5 in difficulty. Now, Max Whitlock is going to have to be at his best to beat that score. But before we get to Max, silver medalist from the all-around championship for England, James Hall.
Good piece of apparatus for James. Straight into the handstand, no nonsense. On the one handle. And again, building the difficulty. Must push out the hips, clear the horse. Travels down well, feet together in the woo travel. Travel with turn again, and again links them together. Such a difficult routine. The forward travel and now backwards. Needs to concentrate. Into the handstand, no hesitation on the pirouette. Solid routine for James Hall. That might just challenge for a medal. Well done, James.
Well done, James. They're all very weary. But James, ever Mr. Reliable. And of course, when you've got very good technique, when your work is very solid, it's much easier to reproduce it time after time. And that certainly is James Gymnastics. Super routine.
Well, anything over 13.733 will put him into third. Just wait for the vault score. Second score comes in, 13.3. Gives an average of 13.566 for Cara Kennedy.
Into fourth position. Just 0.1 behind her teammate Shannon Archer.
Next up onto vault, representing India, is Pranata Nayak.
Very powerful gymnast. We really enjoyed watching her work. Oh, but a little undercooked that. The Sukara straight with full twist. It's quite difficult to come out here without the warm-up on the podium just before you work. And the flight on wasn't really good enough. And actually she put her hand right down, so that'll be a big deduction. Very untidy legs on the top.
This is the vault from the earlier rounds where we were undecided whether it was a handspring entry or a half on. It's not clearly defined, obviously to give it the half on, but looking at it, just looked like one arm slightly in front of the other. We might be able to see that. Yeah, it's one in front of the other, body's twisting, but it is a full twisting Sukahara. And like you said, Christine, it just was a little bit flat off the top. That early turn on the platform pulls her to one side and then hand down.
I think she really just did not turn enough. Although it's a technique to put one hand in front of the other, you have to create some turn as you go.
And heel drive from the springboard.
Yeah. So a little disappointing with that first vault.
But we must stress the Indian women have come a long way in their gymnastics. I remember the days of a handspring. So, you know, great for being here and great for getting into a final.
Yes, their work is much improved. So score for James Hall, 14.066, 6-1 on difficulty. That's a very good score, and it puts him into third at the moment.
First vault score 12.4 for Nayak of India.
So now the second vault. See a different approach here. Comes on forward. Oh, and we saw her complete these two vaults very nicely indeed. But the handspring, tuck front somersault with full twist, she really just looks a little bit overawed by this situation.
Well, such a real shame. But you know what, Christine, she got into this competition, she qualified by right into this vault final, and you know what? Sometimes gymnastics just doesn't work, as simple as that, but I'm sure the experience will do her the world of good.
I'm sure it will as well. So the man with all the pressure needs to be his absolute best. Max Whitlock for England.
Single leg straight to handstand. Picks up into the double leg circle on the one pommel handle. That's good work. Just keep the momentum. They're the Stockleys or flops on the one handle. This is a difficult part. Flare back down, keeps the momentum going. That is excellent work. Come on, Max. Full spindle. Breaks into the flare. Original work and travelling backwards. There's the Wu travel feet locked together into the Russian Wendy circle on the end of the horse. Needs to be good. Into the handstand. Is it a double pirouette? Oh, it nails it well under pressure. Max Whitlock has delivered.
Allows himself a wry smile and a little punch of the air. Not a hugely demonstrative person, Max, but he was very pleased with himself after having not had the greatest outing on the floor. That was very significant for him.
Well, Christine, that will be tight. 15-1 is what he scored. I wouldn't like to split those guys.
Absolutely. But he was very, very confident. Didn't give any flicker. Very good work indeed.
Well, he scored 15-1 in qualification, and I think that was better, slightly. Just a bit more tempo and pace to it. I don't know what you think, but we are not judges, so it'll be for them to decide.
Yes, they're the experts, and there's 6 of them working away. People who study, judging all the time, travel the world, judging top-level competitions, so they know what they're looking at. And they were looking at great pommel work.
Well, I know he can do another turn on that dismount, so he's obviously just decided to stick with that. So will it be enough? Score comes in for Pranati's second vault, 11.566, gives her an average of 11.983. Not a total disaster. First Aussie in the vault final, Georgia Godwin.
And Georgia Godwin took the silver medal in the all-around competition yesterday evening. Here she is back this afternoon, trying to add to her medal haul on the vault. And full twisting, Sukahara to start. It's a 4-8 difficulty. So if the judges thought it was near perfect, it can be into the 14s, but it was pretty good. Down the middle, legs locked together nicely. But they've been their legs were apart on the first flight, but they have been quite harsh with their deductions today.
And I don't know if we can just see from the obvious deduction on the way on, the judges start from the springboard. It's quite a big leg split, but it was good in the air, and the judges are looking if they're landing deep with the chest down. As you said, Christine, before, get your leotard up, look at the vault. And also they're looking for a little bit of height and length as well. Score comes in for the first vault, 13.7.
Good score for that vault. Now the second one, a little bit less difficult. Handspring, front somersault with the half turn. Handspring pike front somersault with the half turn. Only out of 4.6. Have to see what the judges make of that. It's going to be very tight.
See the different entry to the vault, the handspring with the straight front somersault half turn.
So Max looks anxiously. The whole arena looks anxiously.
And the whole of back home.
Oh, and it's 15.1. So it's been given a second because it's the the execution that counts.
Well done, Rhys McLennan. Not only first Northern Ireland's individual medal, but it's a gold, and he pips the Olympic champion.
Well, I'm sure there may be some questions asked, but at the moment, that's the way round it is. 6.8 for difficulty max, 8.3 his execution. But this guy is a super pommel horse worker as well. Jack Davies from Wales, qualified third.
Yeah, good on this piece of apparatus. Starts well, spindling on the end of the horse, travelling along into the Russian circles between the handles. That is very difficult work. Back up onto the handles, onto the one pommel. Another full spindle. Keep the momentum going, young man. Travels forwards and backwards, working well. Another difficult travel. And again, Russian circles on the end, up into the dismount. Solid performance there. Well, what a pommel final for the home nations.
Well, his difficulty was 6.1 in qualification. At the moment, it's Zachary Clay in third place. So will Jack Davis have done enough to push into the medals? We're awaiting that score for Georgia Godwin. 13.6, the second vault. The average 13.65 into fourth, just behind Shannon Archer of Scotland.
Next up on vault for Australia, Emily Whitehead. Qualified in third place.
Didn't work in the all-around competition, so she's had a day of rest. Lovely high vault, really good landing. Really won't be much to take off for that, Craig.
Certainly won't. 5 is the difficulty, but absolutely popped off the top there. The Yurchenko blocks on, nice and tight. That actually had a bit more height and length to some of the other Yurchenko vaults we've seen. So that's what the judges are going to be looking for. Look how high there, plenty of time, just that slight adjustment on the landing, but that was minuscule.
It was indeed. I think you would expect the judges to possibly get up into the 9s for execution here.
I think you could be right, Christine. But she'll need a good second vault if she wants to challenge. And you're right there, 9.166 on execution, 14.166 for the first vault. Second vault for Emily Whitehead of Australia.
Another fast, determined run. Full twist, little hop back with the legs apart. But the Sukahara with full twist, quite efficient. It's going to be such a close call, this, for third place.
Good job, Coach saying, absolutely right. Again, in the Sukahara with the full twist for me, Christine, it was just a little bit longer and a little bit higher than some of the other vaults that we've seen.
So, Jack Davis sitting, waiting. What are the judges making of this? 14.233. Fourth, just outside the medals for Wales. Final gymnast to the pommel horse. Facing Lu.
Not the most difficult of pommel routines, but a very stylish gymnast. Gets to work on the one pommel handle. Good extension of the hips. Good separation in the single leg work. Good at keeping the momentum going. Oh, spoke too soon. Picks up now into the double leg circles on the one pommel handle. Come on. Travels with turn and the end of the horse. Difficult work. Forward travel, known as the Magyar into the Chavado. Come on, young man, keep it going. Needs a handstand. Oh, well, what a shame. They just run out of juice. Last 30 seconds to compose himself. You can see there, Christine, just look. Clonk the pommel handle and
these gymnasts are beautiful swingers, but they're just not strong enough to be able to finish the job off.
Well, they'll have another go. Come on. Up into the handstand, much better with the full pirouette. What a shame. Just nearly needs a few more routines banged out in the gym, and that'll be no problem at all.
Well, what a pommel horse final this has been. Quite amazing. Easily as good as the World Championship pommel horse final. The British gymnasts continuing to show their confidence and prowess on the pommel horse.
Well, that's going to be the big story of the Commonwealth Games, I think, Christine. Certainly on the men's side, but Max, ever such the sportsman. Second vault, 13.533 for Whitehead, an average of 13.849, puts her into third position.
Pushes Scotland's Shannon Archer into fourth.
Final competitor on the vault, representing Wales, Holly Jones.
Tall, elegant gymnast. Lovely height and flight, another beautiful 1.5 twist.
Identical vault to what Whitehead's just performed from Australia. And to be honest, how you split these, Christine, I've no idea.
No, because the style was superb. Very good height and flight.
Good block on the top there, you can see wraps in, feet and legs locked together. Might be biased, but that looked fractionally better to me.
Well, very good indeed. Brings the arms out perfectly for the landing.
See what the first score is. 14.1, 9.1 execution.
And Holly from Swansea Gymnastic Club, coached by Natalie Lucet. But the second vault, a 4-4, difficulty only. She'll need to do it absolutely perfectly.
Here's hoping and praying. The second vault for Holly Jones from Wales.
Really aggressive run, brings the hands in, lovely high. Front somersault with half turn, not a flicker on the landing. She's certainly done her job, has Holly. Lovely work, congratulated by Welsh team coach, Tracy Skirk, national coach for Wales.
Different entry to the vault, legs locked together in the handspring, the first flight phase. The tuck front somersault with the half turn. If you're going to be picky, Christine, maybe a little bit on the knees in the front somersault there in the half turn position. But I'd give her a medal. So let's see what the judges think.
Beautiful work from Holly. So phasing Lou, 11.76. 6 with the fall. Reese McLennan celebrates. I'm sure parents in the audience there.
This is what sport's all about. You've deserved that, young man. Enjoy your moment. Coach there, Luke Carson.
Never had a doubt. Never had a doubt.
Never had a doubt. Well, we're still waiting for vault. See if Holly Jones has just done enough to pip onto the podium. The average 13.533, 13.816 into fourth place, and absolutely gutted, Christine.
It was the second vault, the execution was fantastic, but Shannon Olsen, vault champion of the Commonwealth, second place for Ellie Black, really dominance from the Canadian women on the vault. And for Australia, a bronze medal. Emily Whitehead. And what a future for Reese McLennan.
I'm hoping that's his parents, the hours and hours that families commit to their sons and daughters all over the world, and it's almost like a little bit of payback to them. But Canada take 1 and 2 on the vault. Waiting for confirmation of the results before we can do the medal ceremony for the pommels and the women's vault.
Feel a little bit for Max Whitlock. It was a tie on the score, but of course it's the better execution if it's a tie break.
That's exactly what happened with Lewis Smith at the Olympics on the pommel horse. But rules are rules.
Oh yes, and you know, everyone goes in knowing the rules, but Max certainly didn't water down or not go for it. It was a great routine.
Well, Max can do another full pirouette on his dismount, which would have been a 0.1. There's a confirmation of the pommel horse final. Rhys McLennan makes history for Northern Ireland. 15.1 silver for Max Whitlock, also on 15.1, but split because of the execution rules. Zachary Clay of Canada takes the bronze. Close fourth place for Jack Davis of Wales. Fifth, James Hall from England. Chris Remkes of Australia takes sixth. Michael Tone of Australia seventh. And in eighth place for Malaysia, Fei Xing Liu.
And we wait for the women's vault caption to come up, but the gymnasts for the next finals are getting ready. We're going to see the ladies on the uneven bars, and we're going to see the men on the rings. So don't go away, we've got medals coming up and then more action. So here's confirmation of the results for the women's vault. Shannon Olsen of Canada first, Ellie Black, Canada second. Emily Whitehead, Australia third. Holly Jones fourth for Wales. Shannon Archer fifth for Scotland. Georgia Godwin sixth for Australia. Cara Kennedy seventh for Scotland. Very, very close competition on the vault. The first two were considerably out ahead in terms of difficulty, but that third place could have been anybody's. And it was the great execution of Emily Whitehead that gave it to her. So Scotland still have yet to win a medal in women's gymnastics. They were very much hoping today might have been their moment. However, they have representatives on bars and floor later, floor tomorrow. So medal ceremony begins. And we start with the men's pommel horse. Come the gymnasts. Max Whitlock, Reese McLennan and Zachary Clay. Fabulous pommel horse final. In come the gymnasts for the pommel horse presentation, led by Max Whitlock, who in this occasion has to be happy to take silver, behind Reese McLennan, who was outstanding on the pommel horse. And Zachary Clay for a second medal for Canada this afternoon.
Presenting the medals is Paul Blanchard, Chief Executive Officer, Commonwealth Games Association of England. And Mark Stockwell, Village Mayor for the Gold Coast 2018 Commonwealth Games, will present the gifts. Winner of the bronze medal, representing Canada, Zachary Clay. Zachary Clay of Canada takes the pommel horse bronze medal. Winner of the silver medal, representing England, Max Whitlock. Winner of the silver medal on the pommel horse goes to Max Whitlock for England. The 2018 Commonwealth Games champion, representing Northern Ireland, Reese McLennan. Performed outstanding against the Olympic champion, delivered the routine of his life. Commonwealth Games pommel horse champion for Northern Ireland, Reese McLennan. There you have it. Commonwealth Games pommel horse medalists. Bronze goes to Canada's Zachary Clay. Silver goes to Max Whitlock of England. And the gold, the man of the moment, goes to Rhys McLennan from Northern Ireland. And
what an amazing performance from the young 18-year-old, and what a future he's got ahead of him. He was 10th in the all-around, and to scalp the Olympic champion today is something totally unexpected.
And to do it in the competition format he did, he can't say, or people can't say, well, you won because Max Whitlock and the other people fell off. Max Whitlock did an absolute cracking routine, but on the day, Rhys McLennan was better. And that's what sport is all about, and especially gymnastics. Fantastic. There's his teammate, Ewan McAteer. So 2 more medals for the home nations.
And Max very charming in defeat.
Imagine these big parties going on back in Northern Ireland.
Plenty of Guinness.
Thoroughly well deserved. Well done, young man.
Special mention really to his coach Luke Clarkson, who was Irish gymnast but went to train for quite a long while in Huntingdon, along with Lewis Smith, Dan Keatings, and under the tutelage of Paul Hall.
I was just going to mention that, Christine. We met with Paul Hall, who's here with the Scottish team, the other night, just to see how the guys were going, and we said, this Rhys McLennan is absolutely fantastic. Where's he come from? He said, oh yeah, my ex-gymnast Luke Carson phoned me up and said, how do I make a pommel champion? And he said he went away and did it. He said, I wish I hadn't told him now. And but that just goes to prove we have got the depth of knowledge within the whole of Great Britain, and it's about sharing this knowledge, and that's a result of it.
Absolutely, and we've also got very good young determined coaches who see the opportunity.
Absolutely. And also, let's just go back to the vault. 4th and 5th for Wales and Scotland on vault as well. Great challenge there, Christine.
Yes, was a great challenge. Canada came with their very experienced team, and also a team selected to make sure they'd got someone strong on each piece of apparatus, and Shannon Olsen, the winner, produced 2 vaults that were really world class.
And once you start getting a high difficulty like she had that 6, it might not have been executed as well as, well, for example, Ellie Black, but once you've got 6/10 up on somebody else, that's a long way to pull back on execution, because we have noticed the judging on the women's has been, you know, scrupulous, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, very tight. So here we come for the women's vault. Medal ceremony. Come the gymnasts and the medals. Canada 1 and 2, Australia 3. First of the women's medals to be presented today. So far, Canada have won all the gold medals. They won the team, with England second. Ellie Black won the all-around. And here on the vault, Shannon Olsen is gold. Minister for the Commonwealth Games, the Honourable Kate Jones, MP, and Deputy Mayor of the Gold Coast, Donna Gates. So, winner of the bronze medal on the vault, representing Australia, Emily Whitehead. Confirmation, Emily Whitehead, bronze medalist. Silver this time for Ellie Black. Canada's Ellie Black. Gold medal goes to Shannon Olsen of Canada, Commonwealth champion on vault. Another gold medal for Canada to take home. Shannon Olsen this time, the silver to Ellie Black, and Australia, the bronze, Emily Whitehead. So the arena to be cleared a little. 2 more finals still today. The uneven bars for the women and the rings for the men. Huge delight from the Canadian crowd.